When I move forward from here, the next step is I have to receive the products into inventory. And what does it do with the journal entry? So inside Business, inside GP, when I close this screen here, do I want to save changes? Yes, I do. And then when I go into my receiving transaction entry, I have to select whether or not this is a shipment or a shipment invoice. And that shipment, the shipment means that I'm receiving the product without an invoice. So I've got to match it as a secondary step. The shipment invoice means I have the invoice in my hand, and I'm going to do both at the same time. So that's fine. So I'm going to do a shipment invoice on this so that we do both at the same time. Now, when I do both at the same time, any change that I make to the value will be recorded directly against the item in both systems. So this works exactly the same in both systems. So what I can do here is I can come down through here. I can go into here. I know my East Travel, and then I hit the auto receive, and then I pick up number 90, and then I can pick up 10, 10, and the 10. So at this point here, if I hit the receive button, it's going to populate this. There it is there. There's my $1,100 as expected. We hit the distributions, and as you can see, I've got $1,000 going to inventory, which is $1,300, and I've got the $100 going to the account that I had selected against that line item. And then, of course, my $1,100 going to the payables itself. So this is perfect. Now, if I go back to here and I change this because they said, oh, well, it wasn't $45. It was actually $50. So if I change this value inside here, inside GP, when I go to my distributions, you'll see that this is now changed to there. There's no purchase price variance recorded on a shipment invoice because it's receiving it and matching it at the same value. This is also true inside Business Central. So if I make a change to the value, it will also do the same thing. There's no record of that change of the $50 being recorded. That is the same. So then if I go OK, and then I could hit the post button here and it would post it through. I'm not going to. What I'm going to do is I'm going to delete it so that I can use that same purchase order again to partially receive. Now, when I go across to here, when I go to here and I bring up my 6013, it's a little different. So inside here, I can give it a vendor invoice number, which is the same as what I would do inside GP. I had to give it a vendor number at the top. Inside here, quantity invoiced, everything is fine. All I really need to do is just go something like this. And then at this point, I can go this and I can preview the posting. And it's going to automatically receive 10 and invoice 10. As you can see here on the screen, it says invoice receive 10. And now what it does is it says this is what I'm going to get. So there's my general ledger entry 1. I got 2 item ledgers, 1 detail ledger. When I look at my general ledger entry, I get a few more transactions. I got the $450 going in and out, and then I got the $1,000 going to my accounts payable down here, $1,100. This is the same entry that you saw from GP. These two are the direct costs, and this is how it handles things in order to handle receiving of documents. So it's receiving the document. So this is the receipt of the document. It's putting it into inventory, and it's putting a credit to received, not invoiced, and then it's taking it here. It does the same thing, and then it takes it out of the 1311 here to offset these two. So these two are the two that go to inventory, and these three, this line, and this line, make up the final. That wipes out the 1311, which allows it to go to 0, which is what you would expect. And this is important because what happens in the future is that this is how it handles all changes in value. Because what it does is it reverses what it originally did, and then it puts it in again. So the PPV is never recorded as a purchase price variance as such. So there's no PPV account recorded because of the way that Business Central handles it. It updates the inventory item on hand and then updates the 6520, which is the $100 as expected, and that was going through. So that is going to be the same. That item looks very much the same. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to GP and I'm going to partially receive something. So now what's going to happen is I'm going to come into here. I'm going to do a shipment. I'm going to go to Ace Travel again, same vendor, and I'm going to go auto receive. I'm going to pick up that one there. You'll see I've still got it. But this time I'm going to go 6 and 4. And I use 6 and 4, so I'm not using 5 and 5, and you can see what's left. It will be a different number. And then I'm going to receive 7 of these, like so. And I'm going to hit the receive button. When I hit this receive button, everything is now as expected. There's the 6 at 45, there's 4 at 55, and if I scroll down, you'll find 7 at 10 that give me 560. When I look at the distributions, it looks perfect. There it is there. We go okay. Now, because we haven't got the invoice, we don't know what the vendor's going to charge us, so we have to post this. Now, you can give it a vendor document number if you wish. This is packing slip 12345. There we are. And I'm just going to hit the post button. And now we post it. So that will then record that into the journal entry. This is where it's different between GP and Business Central. GP records the expense for the 7 at $10 has been recorded as a debit to an expense and a credit to an accrued accounts payable. Okay. When I do the same entry here, and I come across to here and I go quantity to receive is, I said 6 and 4, automatically changes the quantity to invoice, and I hit 7. Okay. When I go into here, if I was to preview posting, the preview shows the $70. But when I post this entry, and I'm just going to receive it, I'm not going to receive an invoice, but I'm going to receive only. I'm going to go OK. And then it will print. It shows this. This non-inventory item is here, but there's no value hitting the general ledger at this point. The general ledger does not get hit until the invoice is recorded for non-inventory POs. It's just the way that it works. So there it is there.